Today, let's talk about blog creation. How do you go about creating the blog posts now that you have a list of different topics that you might want to create? Should you use videos, or should you use articles, or how long should they be? If you took a look at the BuzzSumo examples in the previous lesson, you noticed that those articles were pretty long. They were about 1,000 to about 1,500 words. This type of articles are pretty much standard nowadays. So now the recommended thing to do is to create an article, and you can outsource this if you want, but I would recommend you actually try to create the blog outline yourself. Because if you're passionate about the topic, it is going to be easier for you to write an article. Speed up the process by using something like your iPhone voice recognition feature. For example, iPhone has Siri, and Siri allows you to voice your thoughts on your notepad. In this way, you're able to create an article at a really fast rate. Now, obviously, grammatically, everything you said might not be completely correct in writing, so that article would need some proofreading. Next step now would be to take your iPhone and start speaking naturally to create the article, and then you can send it to a proofreader. Once you're done with that, what you can do next is you can head on over to places like Fiverr.com and you can hire people to actually read your article and get them to turn it into a video. As far as what the blog post should be about, well, I'm going to show you what we call the backward blog creation strategy, and I'm actually going to take an example. I'm going to show you how to write the article, or at least outline it to the point that you can do it all in less than 5 minutes. Alright, so let me go ahead and show you that right now. Okay, so the reason why we call this the backward blog post strategy is because what we're doing is we're moving backwards, if that makes sense. As you can see here, what we're trying to do is we're trying to find an already proven blog post, but at the same time stay away from plagiarizing. We're not copying anything, and just want to get that out of the way. But what we're trying to do is we're looking at what is proven and extracting from that and making it more specific, making it more unique, and making it better essentially. So first, we find that proven blog post. And then, what we do is we can break it up. So this one proven blog post could essentially become 10 or 15 or 20 even smaller blog posts that are actually more specific. So let me show you this in action in a super easy way. Again, we're not plagiarizing by any means. So I just want to make sure we understand that and that is clear. So let's move on and let's talk about lowering cholesterol again. So as you notice in the previous search in lower cholesterol food, it can be a lot of natural remedies. So let's kind of focus on that because that seems to be what people are searching for. So let's just type in lower cholesterol food and see what we get. So if we scroll down, we can see top 12 food in lowering cholesterol search. And you'll notice there are a lot of articles here, such as top 10 things that lower your cholesterol. So let's just click through here and we will click this one here. So as you can see here, it says 12 food types that lower cholesterol naturally. Now, if we take a look here, we can see that it lists different types of food. So different categories of food like oats, we have red wine, we have salmon and fish, we have nuts. We can go more specific. So the question is, how do you go more specific? Because obviously, the more specific it is, the more interesting it is. And this way, you can boost your authority simply because people feel like you've actually nailed it and focused in very, very specific details. So instead of saying like the top 12 different foods that lower cholesterol, what you can do here is pick, for example, fish. You can say the top 10 fish that actually lower your cholesterol, or top 5 fish that lower your cholesterol. You can even say top 5 types of nuts, because as you can see here, there are many different types of nuts. There are pistachios, for example, that can help to lower cholesterol, and there are many other types like almonds that can help as well. So try to go through here and just break it down. So there are actually other olive oils or types of oils that can lower cholesterol, so we can do oils. And let's just start with that. So obviously, oats and red wine could be an option. There might be different types of red wine. So maybe you could do the top 5 types of red wine, or top 10 types of fish, or top 5 types of nuts or oil that lower your cholesterol. Now, indirectly, what you're doing here is you're going very, very specific. You're actually helping Google figure out what your site is all about. So, there we go from this one article. We were able to create 4 different articles, and because it's all very consistent. You can easily find other articles out there that are based on these articles. So you can hire an article writer. There are many different places that you can go to in order to hire article writers. One example is Upwork.com. You can find very high quality article writers out there, and really all you need is a few just to start out. So at first work with 1 or 2 writers, and then of course as you expand, you can hire a few more. But what I like to do is I like to hire a couple first and see which ones I like the writing style and how well they work with you, and then you can outsource your work to them. But you can write yourself too, and you can actually do it very easily. It's more specific to your niche. Remember, the more specific it is, the easier it is to write. So for example, going back to nuts. We have the number 1 pinto beans, number 2 navy beans, number 3, 4, 5. So all we need is 3 more nuts, maybe beans, chickpeas, and butter beans. Now, all you have to do is simply hand this task to a writer. Say something like, hey, I want you to write an article on the top 5 types of nuts that lower your cholesterol, and I want you to cover this, this, and that. So basically, this is how it goes as far as writing a blog post to make sure that they cover all what you need. So essentially, what you're doing is you are trying to get somebody to buy your product, so they should visit your site, and you should get people interested in lowering their cholesterol with your blog posts. They learn specific details in your post and ready for the next steps. And that's how to create a high converting blog post at a very fast pace.